Hello, thank you, and welcome to the Open Space and Ecology meeting of January 28th, 2026. Do I need to make that emergency announcement thing like usual? Consider any roll request? We don't have any.
No, we don't have any attendees,
Yeah,
so it's not
okay.
necessary.
So next is roll call. So Rohandra,
Present.
Mary, present. Jason,
Present.
welcome back.
Hello, thank you.
Anthony,
Present.
Aaron,
Present.
Michelle, present. Do I have a move to adopt the agenda? Does someone want to move to adopt the agenda?
Make a motion.
Okay, second? Okay. Oral communications. Does anybody have any oral communications? Online? No? Here? I do. Two things. One, I really want to welcome Jason Nunan back to the Open Space and Ecology Committee. And two, I'd really like to wish Anthony Walker a happy birthday.
Thank you very much.
And
This was your birthday wish being here.
It
Yeah.
was. It was.
well, we're, do you want us to sing to you, or can we forgo that? Okay, good.
It's all right.
Okay. Next, we have approval of the minutes from the December 17th meeting. So did everyone get a chance to look over to the minutes, and does anyone have any corrections for that? Okay. All in favor of do we have to do roll call for voting? I forget.
Typically, yes, if it's
Okay.
a vote.
Rohandra, I don't think you were at that meeting, so
No, I wasn't.
so you're
Yeah,
abstained.
abstained.
Mary? I approve. Jason, you weren't there. Michelle? Yes, approved. Anthony?
Yep. Approved.
Aaron?
Approve.
Good. Okay. Oh, wow, it's on the agenda, new business. Welcome, new member, actually returning member, Jason Nunan to the Open Space and Ecology Committee. And we're very happy to have you back on the committee, Jason. You did some really great work in your last go-round, and we missed you. I know your life got real busy for a while there. I would like to mention that we do still have an open seat because there are normally 7 committee members on the Open Space and Ecology Committee. And if you go on the city website, there is an application, and I believe you have to file your application by what date? Do you guys remember? February 12th or something? And if anyone has questions about what it's like to be on Open Space and Ecology Committee, well, it's a lot of work, but it's very rewarding, and it's one of the things where we really work hard to try to make Brisbane and our environment a better place for all of us. So come on and join. We need one more member. Okay, next on the docket is election of a new chair. This is my last meeting as chair, and a new vice chair. And so do we have any nominations for chair?
I'd like to nominate the birthday boy, Anthony Walker, to be the chair.
There's a second on that? All in
Second,
favor?
yes.
Okay. And we'll do a roll call. Rohandra?
Yes.
Mary? Yes. Jason? Anthony?
Do I have to abstain?
No, you say yes.
Okay. Okay.
And Aaron?
Yes.
And Michelle? Yes.
If you said no, we'd be worried.
Okay. And nomination for vice chair. I do have a nomination for vice chair. I would like to nominate Mary as vice chair. And
Does anybody else want it?
I was going to say Rohindra's never been a chair or a vice chair.
but I think that
I
he
think I
has-
should hold back to get a little bit more experience.
Yeah.
Okay.
Yeah.
Okay.
So do I have a second?
I would happily second that. I just wanted to make sure Rohindra didn't want to. And Jason, it's your first day. Or
No, I'm happily seconding.
okay, good.
Okay.
Tertiarily second. Tertiary.
All right. Let's vote. Rohandra?
I agree.
Mary?
Sure.
Jason?
Aye.
Anthony?
Aye.
Mary? Aaron?
Aye.
Michelle? Aye. Okay, so next meeting, you'll be in the hot seat. You'll be in the second seat. Okay. And then we go on to discussion of This might be a really short meeting.
Yes.
I'm liking
Welcome
this.
back.
I know.
We shortened the agenda just for you, Jason.
I left the car running, I read the agenda.
Welcome back. Get out.
That's my Uber flashing outside.
I'm just going to read this so that we're all on the same page. And I am going to put my glasses on so I don't make any boo-boos. This is a plaque honoring David Schooley. And I think all of you know who David Schooley is, but it says so in here. There's a recommendation. Receive this informational report and provide general guidance on the concept of installing a commemorative bronze plaque honoring David Schooley, including input on proposed locations and next steps. Following council's direction, staff will bring the project to Parks and Recreation Commission for design, development, and approval, and also they've asked for our feedback. Doesn't say that here, though. David Schooley has been a leading advocate for the protection and stewardship of San Bruno Mountain for more than 50 years. His conservation work, educational outreach, and collaboration with the local jurisdictions have played a central role in preserving the mountain's ecological resources and ensuring long-term public access. The city leadership has expressed an interest in commemorating Mr. Schooley's contributions. Staff is recommending a plaque to be placed in an appropriate location that reflects Mr. Schooley's commitment to the mountain. Discussion. The city manager has identified several possible access points into San Bruno Mountain Trail Network, such as the connections near Paul and Margaret Avenues, potential locations as a potential location for single commemorative plaque. These neighborhood access points offer contextual relevance for trail users and a strong connection to the mountain that Mr. Schooley dedicated decades to protecting. Staff are proposing to mount a plaque on a natural boulder at the selected site to ensure that the installation blends with the surrounding environment. Should council prefer another location with broader public visibility or a different connection to the mountain, staff can evaluate additional options. The plaque would provide a portrait relief and a brief statement honoring his legacy. He's not dead yet, you guys, just so you know. This is, please don't be thinking that.
Called me 2 days ago, he sounded alive.
Yeah. This report provides preliminary information for council's consideration before project moves to Parks and Recreation Commission for design review. To gather initial cost information, staff contacted a vendor previously used by the city. The preliminary concept includes a custom portrait relief, approximately 100 words of text, and a working plaque dimension of 14 by 20 inches, although the final size may need to be increased depending on the selected imagery and narrative. Since the portrait relief is entirely custom and the artwork determines the casting size, the vendor cannot provide a firm quote until the final text and artwork are submitted. As a point of reference, a similar bronze casting recently completed by the same vendor for the San Francisco Fire Department cost $2,800 plus tax and freight. If council provides general direction to proceed, staff will bring the project to Parks and Recreation Commitment for design development. The commission would review and refine plaque language, confirmation, and confirm the preferred location and select final design elements. Once these components are finalized, the staff will submit the artwork and text to the fabricator for a definitive cost estimate and proceed with fabrication and installation. Based on vendor input and staff estimates, plaque fabrication is anticipated at approximately $3,000. City staff, labor, and installation materials are estimated at approximately $2,000. A high-range estimate of up to $10,000 accounts for a larger plaque size or expanded artwork requirements. All expected costs fall within staff's purchasing authority, and budgets can support such an effort. So, I attended the council meeting where they discussed this, and I definitely have some thoughts about it. And I don't know if any of you have thought about it or participated in that particular meeting. So I don't know if I should start or if someone else would like to start and express what they're thinking about it. I will say I've known David Schooley since he first came to Brisbane. I was like 16 years old. He came in the public library and he was all excited about the mountain. He's like, my mountain, my mountain. I'm like, oh, wait, it's my mountain. It's everybody's mountain. But he has worked long and hard on the mountain and has taught so many kids and led so many hikes over the years. So I do think a plaque honoring David is a wonderful idea, but I do have concerns about the location. Should I
I don't have a problem with it. I mean, 50 years.
speak into
I
the
would say-
microphone,
oh,
Mary?
Mine doesn't work.
Oh.
Sorry. Hello, hello. Can you hear? It does? Okay. I'm a fan of Mr. Schooley. I think that he should be recognized. I mean, 50 years is a lot of time dedicated to the mountain. And he's our best advocate. So I'm all for creating a plaque. I think $10,000 is too much. I think the $5,000 range probably is the way to go. The location, I don't have any opinion on that. I think the recognition is what's important.
Jason?
Is that on? Is this on? Is this on? Yes, I heartily agree. I think I'm a huge fan of David's, as we all know, or most of you know. I think it's great. It's great to do something while someone is alive so that they can see how much,
Feel the love.
feel the love. We can talk about the location. I think Margaret and Paul, there's already a big thing there, so that could be added to it. The thing that I've seen that does have David's picture, forgive me, I don't know the name of the biotech company that's down the road past Brisbane, and there's that little pergola down there with a thing. It's just no one knows it's there. You miss it, you just fly by it in your car. And it's there's 8 panels about the mountain and David and the whole thing. It's completely lost. So I would like it not to be, I would like it to be in the park, frankly, but I don't know if that makes sense. But I don't want it to be hidden. And I think in a way that's a good spot. Because there's already an extant thing there. And my main thing, I talk too much about my minor thing, is I'm in agreement. We can all talk about where it is. I think maybe 2,800 is too little. I think you pay too little and you get cheap. You pay cheap, you get cheap. And I would go to 10 because the way I would put up 5 myself, honestly, I would put up 5. But I think 2,800, I'd really like to see the one that was 2,800 because I can't imagine putting up a poster in this day and age for 2,800. And I don't want it to be some piece of crap that the finish comes off of it and it's I'd like to see that. I'd like to make sure it's a thing that will last in the rain and the wind and will be a tribute to this guy who's lasted. That's it.
Rohandra?
I have no opinion because I don't know David. So,
Okay.
yeah, thank you.
Aaron?
I'm really glad the city's doing this, and I think that the location discussion is really interesting. I have no opinions on the location myself, but I would like to say this is obviously not a secret if it's being discussed in public meetings. So I would ask David, maybe give him 3 choices and let him pick, rather than us deciding by committee what the location should be, because that feels awkward. So.
Anthony?
Yeah, I was going to say something along the same line. I think something along those lines was brought up at the original meeting.
Yeah.
And that wasn't a direction that had occurred to me in the moment, but I sort of thought, yeah, that makes sense. He's still alive. Let's ask the guy, So I wonder if anyone has talked to him about it. Maybe that conversation's already happened. I don't know.
I'm not sure.
Yeah.
I will tell you my opinion on this, and I do have strong feelings on it. Yes.
Welcome back.
Margaret and Paul, those are private roads. They are private roads. And that trailhead is a trail that is not listed on any maps, or not supposed to be, and it crosses several private properties. So I think, and then as the trail goes on up to the mountain, it goes through some extremely rare and fragile habitat, and including some of the last remaining native grasslands in California. And so I don't think it's necessarily a great idea to put a monument there as an attraction of bringing people to that spot and seeing it. And then the trail is not well marked from there either. So that, I think there's a couple of concerns there with that, the trailhead there being a private property. Yes. Yeah. And frankly, many of the hikes that David has led, especially with school children and with Mountain Watch and over the years, started at the bottom of Buckeye or at the bottom of Owl. And those are public access trails that lead up the mountain. And it is on a road that is public access. And it's also very much in alignment with our application to rejuvenate Quarry Road. And for the and so I really think that the best place to put this kind of honoring of David Schooley is in a very accessible public place that is very related to the actual activities that we're honoring David for. And how many times we've hiked up Buckeye Canyon together over the years and years, and or hiked up Owl and came down Buckeye, or hiked up Buckeye and came down Owl. And so I really think that at the trailhead to Buckeye Canyon would be the ideal place, and not on the necessarily on the road, but maybe just up a little ways on the trail where we can plant a garden around it, you know, native plant garden, and some poison oak, because that's one of his favorite plants. And just make it truly an honoring kind of place. And it would tie in very nicely with our whole plans for the Quarry Road Trail. And so I feel very strongly about that. It's close to the school where he's lectured. It's close to all of the hikes that he's led over the years. I mean, he's led hikes all over the mountain, but that has been the primary area where he's taken so many kids.
So does council have a site in mind? I mean,
Well, no, the only site that was mentioned was at the juncture of Paul and Margaret, or up at the end of Paul. And the problem with that is that it's the roads are private. They're very narrow. They're very dangerous. There's nowhere to park. There's nowhere to even hardly turn around. I mean, I'm really familiar with those, and I don't even like going up there. And it is an intrusion on private property to use those roads. And so that is just not a good place to. I don't think it's a good place to put that. Jason?
I like Anthony and Aaron's idea of asking David. That said, be prepared for the answer, because the answer may be put it in that quarry where I don't want any any warehouses. Put it right there and block the entrance, and that's that. That could be the answer you get, and God bless him. I love him. But I kind of second what you're saying. Also, I like that because he's very fond. He calls it the kindergartner trail. There's a very, very mild slope there that he's taken countless school kids over. So that makes lots of sense. Also, one last thing. I think the price just doubled, because if you go there, what are you going to stick it to? I mean, you're going to, I had mailboxes put in, and they charged $1,000 to cut holes for mailboxes. So you need either something pressure-treated wood, which is terrible for the environment, or cement or something, plus the plaque, you know, so.
So my idea on that, I actually have been thinking about that a lot, and I'm very inspired by the giant rocks at the corner by the skate park. And, you know, we've used big quarry rocks before for other things. And I think placing a giant quarry rock there, something that's not going to come down with a mudslide necessarily and kill anybody, and embedding the plaque in the rock and making it. Thanks, Jason. I feel like that would be like a really beautiful thing, is to have a native rock from the quarry right there, and with the plaque embedded in it. And, you know, God help the person who wants to steal that.
I have a question about the rock. So the rocks that are by my house they fall apart.
They're not from the quarry.
Perfect, that was what I was asking.
They're
is
not
that
gray
they-
wacky.
Okay, good.
Okay, that's the difference.
Okay.
That's why the quarry is where the quarry is and not where your house is.
Good thing.
Yeah. So, the quarry, the big boulders that came out of the quarry are gray wacky, and they are like, they're not very easy to even break up.
Good.
Yeah.
Thank you.
So I think that would be great.
I think that 10,000 just doubled to 20 because you
Yeah.
gotta dig into that, that rock.
I don't think it's that bad. I mean, we have other rocks that have had plaques in them.
If I may, I
Yeah.
believe that our Public Works Director was looking at boulders or rocks of some sort. So I believe that's built into that cost.
Oh,
Yeah,
oh, okay, good.
yeah, I believe so. I can double check that, but
Yeah.
yeah.
Molly, map-wise, I think we're at the end of Quarry Road, off the screen. Yeah, like, so we're talking about where we park on Quarry Road
Right, near the
to start walking up, the canyon. So maybe
Yeah.
a little bit west of where your cursor is right now. Oh, no, maybe it is where your cursor is right now. Yeah.
No, the ad hoc skate park
Ad hoc skate park, yeah.
is at the base of Owl Canyon, and we're talking the base of Buckeye Canyon.
My goal was to identify city-owned property, which is the blue with the yellow around it.
So it would be like, see where the road, where it says RD right there?
Quarry Road, right where it splits.
Yeah,
Yep.
right there.
But you bring up a good point, is that I don't think that's city-owned property. I think that belongs to the county, because it's past the school, right?
It's,
As you're going up.
it's just
that's-
past this, it's past the school,
Yeah.
but I believe it might be Fish and Game
Yeah,
or Fish and
City, county,
Wildlife.
I mean, county at San Mateo.
It's not county, it's not San Mateo County. It would be either City of Brisbane right-of-way on Quarry Road, or else it would be
The
Fish and Game.
Yeah, okay.
Mhm.
Okay.
So I don't think that would be a problem with
Oh,
them at
yeah,
all.
that's fine.
I mean, they've allowed us to do other signage and stuff.
Especially if we get that PCA grant to
Oh,
do the
God.
revitalization.
Wouldn't that be awesome?
Yep.
Because I could also just vision of the future. If we move up, see where the little green thing is on the map there? And that little area is actually kind of like a little plain right there. It's like a flat area. Would be really nice. That's an area that did get impacted by the big landslide. But if we had the David Schooley rock there, it would also be really nice to have maybe some informal kind of almost amphitheater seating there and if we ever wanted to have a little outdoor classroom program there in the future as part of the Quarry Road project, ongoing Quarry Road project.
Now it's 50,000.
Yeah.
Well, no, I'm not.
Well, there's oh, Jason, we applied for a grant for that.
Yeah, and we could even use eucalyptus logs that were put some of those, because that habitat right at the very base has been impacted. It's not pristine, and it's a perfect area to have. We've had gatherings there over the years before it got so overgrown.
Yep.
So. I just think that area right there is a huge potential, and it's right next to the road that leads up to the top, the trail that leads up to the top. It's it's a pretty special place, and it goes up to the Shell Mound, and it's much more pristine than Margaret and Paul, that's basically in a eucalyptus forest. So. Any other comments? Are we all kind of in the same mode where we should make a group recommendation to the council about this?
I honestly still think we should ask him. I think we should suggest this and tell him we think it's what makes the most sense and what we envision, but I really feel like
I think that it's going to be up to Park and Rec to ask him, not us.
that's reasonable.
Yeah, so I don't think that should stop us from going ahead and making what our recommendation is
My recommendation is that we ask him.
first.
No, my recommendation is that we say, this is the property we like, but we want to ask him.
Okay,
I agree.
all right.
Okay, no, and we can definitely type up these notes and provide that to the Parks and Rec Commission as well.
Okay.
Yeah.
Do we
And
need
to
to
the
make a
council.
motion, or is that good enough?
I think that's good enough.
Okay.
It's more informational than anything else. Yeah.
And if you can include why,
Yes.
our reasons why we feel this,
Okay.
and then a vision for the future with the possibility of tying it in eventually with what we can, if we get the PCA grant,
Mhm.
and even the work that we're going to do if we don't get the PCA grant, and then the potential for having that as a gathering space as well.
Okay, great.
future.
We can definitely send over a draft to you all, and you guys can provide additional comments if you'd like before we send it off.
Oh, I think we can move this along pretty quick.
Yeah.
I don't think we need a lot of comments.
Okay.
Yeah.
All right. Perfect.
Okay. Next comes the exciting thing that we have to do, which is the adoption of our 2026 work plan. God, I hope it doesn't entail reading 6,000 pages of anything.
Well, that's the best part, isn't it?
I'm like so blind now after doing that. I'm like, can't wait to get my eye surgery.
Yeah, before we start, if I could just clarify that, we're really just looking at this and trying to determine what our work plan might look like for 2026. And then I think the next step upon speaking with our city manager would be, we would then meet with the liaisons, the council liaisons for OSEC, which would be Colleen and Terry. So we'd meet with them and get their buy-in on our work plan. And then we would then bring that to council for them to approve and adopt.
That's what we usually do.
Okay, perfect.
Yeah.
I understand not all committees do it, so it's good that OSEC does it.
We do it right.
Yes.
That's because we have so much work to do.
Does this mean we don't have to go through any more of what Anthony had to go through with the fill out the form and template to do additional work, to get additional staff hours? Because that was technically already on our work plan. So
Yeah, if there's anything that is not on the work plan that's in addition to, we would then need to follow that process.
Okay, very good.
Yep.
So future proof.
Okay, so I'm just going to read this. Provide input on quarry and baylands developments, especially open space designs. Support the health and growth of the urban tree canopy, utilizing the recent tree inventory via education and outreach, grants and potential other means. Consider setting a canopy coverage goal, which I believe we've already done.
We already have that goal. In fact, I forgot to bring all the literature. That was, our goal is like 23% or 280 trees to be planted each year in order to meet our 2040 goal. I can email you guys the literature. I went out and found it. So that was determined when Adrian was here, but there was a note, and it's in the minutes, that I don't think council has bought into that. But it went through the whole review process and stopped before council.
Council did approve Randy's budget on it.
Yeah, but I don't think they approved, because it's going to cost a lot more to plant 280 trees each year. I mean, from our tree meeting, Keegan said, I think there's like 23 trees so far, whatever, I don't know.
Yeah, so it's my understanding that based off that conversation we had at the subcommittee level, we would then bring that to a council subcommittee, specifically city beautification, and speak with them about it prior to going to council. So I believe that was the next step. But the next step was for us to go to a council subcommittee and discuss trees further with them, and then prepare that staff report and, the tree hub and all of that for a council discussion.
I do want to note that it's not just about beautification, it is about climate.
Mhm.
Climate resiliency
About climate,
and
yeah.
fire resiliency.
Yeah, I think we were just trying to find a subcommittee that would work prior to bringing it to the entirety of the council, bringing it to a couple of council members who are interested in trees.
Okay.
Yeah.
Well, reading the minutes, it sounded like that was already done. This has been over a year now,
Okay.
right? So I thought council had already reviewed it, but when I went back and looked, I pulled all this information out of the minutes.
Mhm.
It didn't get council approval yet because it hasn't been brought up. to
That's
council.
my understanding as well. I've been here for under a year, and my understanding is that it hasn't formally been adopted by council despite being budgeted in the budget, Public Works budget last year. And I know Adrienne is slowly ramping her way back in, and I know that she played a really key role in this. So once she's fully back on board, we're hoping in March, we can bring trees back.
Yeah, but the goal is like 280 trees per year to meet that goal in 2040.
Yep, understood.
So, yeah, that's what I'm stressing.
Yeah,
that's
understood,
okay.
yeah.
Thanks.
A variety. Yeah. It would be a variety of planting on public
Yeah, and
public
they were-
property and private property.
The different types of trees were listed in that literature in the minutes as well. So,
So instead of consider setting in our work plan, is there better language like advocate for adoption of canopy coverage goal or something like that? Yeah.
the canopy goal,
Yeah. Okay. Update climate action plan. Consider strategies to reduce emissions from existing buildings and transportation. Review and recommend plans to meet climate emergency declaration goals. Then those are the priority projects that we have. And then under routine and ongoing efforts, participate in sea level rise mitigation planning. 2 new ad hoc subcommittees, dark skies, invasive species / and home hardening.
I think that should be 3, because the dark skies ad hoc would be different than the invasive species ad hoc, and both of those were just to deal with
Follow up.
any situations that arise. So it's not even a standing meeting for an ad hoc committee. It's only when something comes that requires some folks to think about it.
That's fine. We can
Okay.
separate the two.
Okay,
Yeah.
that would be great.
And then home hardening is, that sounds weird.
It's in response to the California, so I asked for the discussion of this on the work plan. So in response to the new state rules that, in certain areas you need to have 5 feet of whatever. But anyway about it, I feel like OSEC can help people be smart about their home hardening, right? Like, we don't want people pulling all of their landscaping out and putting rocks in while we're also going for a tree goal, right?
Right.
And we don't want people putting in a bunch of, things that are likely to burn. So
Well,
how can we help?
Yeah, I was thinking fire resiliency is the term instead of home hardening.
Yeah, that's a good point.
Do you think that should be under education and outreach, maybe?
That actually tracks really well. Yep.
Yeah, so we don't need another subcommittee?
I think that's a great idea, Mary.
Sorry.
Good, no, all good. It's great.
I was just listening to that thinking, oh, that'd make a great library display.
It would be. Well, everything every one of our things kind of moves across
I
all
love
of the
it.
committees in some way or another. Okay, review and approve annual vegetation management plan for the Brisbane Acres. Moving on with that. Review open space plan and its implementation and update as necessary. And that's ongoing. We really need to continue to work on that. Provide input on 3 or 4 habitat restoration days per year. Improve, maintain Crocker Trail frog habitat and get signed agreement.
Any updates?
There, we'll get there. This is a
Yes,
different
let
spot in the
me,
agenda.
I can touch on that in staff updates. Yeah.
And then under education and outreach, there are multiple things: Day in the Park Community Festival, Bike to Work Day, Lippman Science Fair, library displays, publications through the city e-blast star website, social media sites, and MCTV, and outreach to targeted areas, et cetera, on trash. Day in the Park, some of those used to be under events, but
Yeah, that's.
I think it's
events, yeah.
okay if it's under education and outreach.
I have a question.
Yeah.
What was participation like for Bike to Work Was there a lot of people in that? Or what was, no, people, governments, people take on committees and they get started and they just never stop. And I just think so many people working from home, not that many people are really able to bike to San Francisco. Maybe bike to work day has seen its.
I think Brisbane provides stations because I see them on Lagoon Road for bike to work. Oops, yeah.
Yeah, I was gonna say that too. There's actually a whole cadre of people who bike all the way from San Francisco to like Tech, like Sunnyvale, Mountain View, and not only on bike to work day. So it's nice to do that. Like there's the trail that kind of we don't have in Brisbane, what will after the Baylands is done. I feel like Adrian did it. I don't know that any of us did it.
There was committee members before who have participated in it, but
I think Barbara Ebel did.
yeah.
It was her baby, but I just love to know if anyone's doing it or if it's just one more thing that really no one's doing.
Well, I know they had it last year.
I know that it's a long-standing event that the city helps produce. I think it makes sense to keep it on if you'd like to, but if we take it off, I'm sure Complete Streets would also take it on. I'm sure they also do some work around that day as well.
Yeah, I think maybe Complete Streets or even Park and Rec
Okay,
might want to take that one on.
Yeah. great, thank you.
Because, yeah, personally, I mean, I think bicycling's great, but I don't think I'm ever getting on another one unless my life depends on it.
It does fit in the climate action stuff. It's transportation.
The stretch.
It's huge.
It is, yeah.
It's huge.
I don't know. I mean,
Yeah.
maybe it could be one of those things that we share jointly.
Yeah, no,
We
I
have in
think
the past.
I think it's one of those things that touches many different committees, and so
Okay. And is there more?
That's it. Me, Christina, and Adrian did hop on a call last week, and Adrian graced us with her presence to go over the work plan. So she helped us kind of condense things and get things into a smaller paper, basically, so it's not too long. So it
Are
was
we
just
missing
condensed.
anything that we had on there before?
Nope.
I didn't think
Nothing
so.
missing.
I
It was just
compared it to
combined.
last year's. We're good.
Very good. Okay. So everybody good with this? Yes?
Can I review the changes real quick before
Yeah.
we move on? So we are changing the language from consider setting a canopy coverage goal to advocate for adoption of canopy coverage goal. And then 2 new ad hoc subcommittees, dark skies and invasive species. And we're removing home hardening to put it under the education and outreach umbrella.
Where did we land with the bike day? Was that share it with them or give it to Complete Streets?
So we don't run Day in the Park, Lippman Science Fair, like a lot of other stuff. So I'm okay leaving it on this list. But I'm also okay with taking it off because I'm not going to do any work on it.
Yeah, it's basically, does anyone on the committee want to participate that day in manning the tables and doing the work?
No.
Okay, take it off.
Okay. Because it deserves attention, but if we're not, I don't want our name on there thinking that we're going to give it attention if no one has that motivation.
The champion for that is not.
That said, never mind. Never mind. I can't say
That-
this politely. We don't do a ton of work for some of our other education and outreach events. It's really staff who does all the work. And so
It
I'm
is.
wondering, since if it's one of the things Adrian likes to do, if it makes sense to leave it on there for when she's back.
Okay.
Save
Just
it.
leave it because it happens every year, whether we are there or not. If we happen to have someone who can volunteer for that, that is great.
Maybe you can make a note there, bike to work day shared.
Yeah, or something, yeah.
Adrian, don't look at me.
Also, about the climate action stuff, the way that it's written, it does look like the main goal is sort of like, let's update the climate action plan, but then there's also the sub-bullets sort of feel like, let's actually implement things. So I just,
Yeah, no, that was a good catch. We did move that up to a priority project because we are discussing discussing with Adrian and with others, refreshing the climate action plan this year and, doing more around that. So we have been speaking with RICAPs over the county, hoping that they can provide us with some consultant time so we can do some work around the cap. So that will definitely be a focus once I think Adrian returns and is kind of ready to take that on. She'll play an instrumental role in that. So,
Okay.
yeah.
Yeah. No, I just wanted to sort of clarify, make sure that we're not sort of writing ourselves into a spot where it's like all we can do is write a plan
Right.
and not actually do anything beyond that. I don't know that that's, I guess I'm just sort of wondering how much flexibility there is to
You
sort
wanna
of move
Roll
beyond.
down to look at the wording to see if we can expand on the. Yeah, it feels like it should be blank, 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 including updating the climate action plan. It's like, focus on climate resiliency, including updating the climate action plan.
Yeah.
Does that seem,
Yeah.
resiliency is probably not the right word, but you probably got a better one.
I mean, I guess that's kind of what I was getting at is because the bullet is all about the climate action plan.
Yeah.
I don't know, it sort of felt like, well, okay, is the only acceptable outcome and only acceptable sort of workload really, let's create a document or update a document. You know what I mean?
Yeah, I feel like the climate action plan in itself is a huge undertaking. I did a cap in my former city and it took us 2 years. I mean, as you all know, it's a ton of work. So if the question is whether we'll be prioritizing that this year, we hope so, with assistance from the county and from Adrian. And if it's whether it's feasible to expand that to ensure that there's implementation and things that we can do to actually implement it, I mean, I think that remains to be seen.
Okay.
Yeah.
Yeah. I don't know. I mean, I guess that's kind of what I'm getting at is like I don't know, if in the process of writing this and, everyone's talking and brainstorming and things, I don't know, suddenly levers that present themselves, it's like, oh, we could actually do this one thing and it would be pretty effective. I'd love to see us just pulling those levers,
Mm-hmm.
And not just writing plans about it,
Yeah, no, I will say, for instance, at our next council meeting, I'm sure you'll hear about this once we publish the packet on Friday. We're bringing forward an item on renewable energy and trying to seek input from the council on a potential renewable energy project because a developer has given us a contribution per a development agreement for money for a renewable energy project, right? So it'd be great if there was like a climate action plan or something like that that could help sort of guide those decisions around where the priorities are in the city as it relates to energy. And I think a refreshed cap would help with that. I think it also helps as we move forward with a couple of the developments in sort of having more of a modern cap that reflects sort of the times. So
100%.
So maybe there needs to be a third point there about new strategies or new technology, explore new options for
Yeah,
meeting climate
it's
goals. Or
up to you all. If you'd like to include that language, we're happy to include that as well.
is that something that would kind of fit that?
Maybe, yeah. I mean, I guess part of why I was asking about it was I wanted to make sure that we're not shutting the door on anything, by sort of limiting scope too much.
Yeah.
Maybe consider strategies and new technologies to reduce emissions, or, I don't know.
We could expand and make the language more broad if you'd prefer that.
Yeah.
Yeah,
And
we could work with it.
I like what Mary said about, and, consider, what did new technologies. Because, it's been a while.
The only thing I'm looking at the priority projects, and what I'm worried about is us having to go through another review of EIRs for both the quarry and the Baylands, and then the actual plan itself. And now we're including an update to the cap. that the Quarry and the Baylands review, I mean, that sucked the energy out of me. I don't know about you guys.
Still
but,
cross-eyed.
that was a lot of review process. So we need to really be careful how we prioritize these projects.
I don't think having priority projects means we're gonna finish them this year.
I
Right.
agree.
So I think we can have a priority be the climate action plan, climate work, and the urban tree canopy, and we will deal with Quarry and Baylands when they show up, and probably those other things will get backburnered because, you know, we're on the developer schedule at that point. So I think just because it's a priority doesn't mean it actually
I
has
just
to get
want to
done.
call it out.
Yeah,
because
I agree,
It
I
could
agree.
all happen this year.
Mhm.
I don't know. So.
Yeah, the point is well taken, and I'll just note that I think some of the thought around the cap was it could potentially go to subcommittee, right? You all have a cap subcommittee, so the majority of work or the bulk of work could potentially go to that subcommittee.
I think one of the things that's also really important is that on that first one, provide input on Quarry and Baylands development, et cetera, that if there is also another EIR to review or whatever, you know, I think the other committees need to take their fair share and go through them. And I feel like we were the only group that did the work this time. And I felt kind of like last, 6 years ago when we did or however long it was, long time ago, when we did the original program draft EIR for the Baylands, there was a whole 30-person community committee that reviewed it in addition to us and in addition to the Planning Commission and the other committees. And this time I felt like we were out there all by ourselves going over everything. So I really want to make a note that all of the committees and commissions need to participate in this, not just us. And their feedback is very valuable too. Just like we want to give feedback on things Park and Rec does that involves open space. Very much so. Because that is under our, so it's shared, it's a community where there's no one czar in charge of any particular group or thing.
So what are we saying about climate?
Climate action plan, we're going to broaden the scope of that a bit because we do need to update the climate action plan.
So I was going to ask, is updating the plan our responsibility or is it the city's responsibility and we're providing input to the climate action plan?
Well, in the past, the Open Space and Ecology Committee developed the climate action plan. And then the city accepted it. And it was a lot of work. And Glenn Feldman and some of the prior committee members, Barbara Ebel, Adrian, and her predecessor worked really hard on the climate action plan. So it was a massive undertaking, and it provided the sustainability framework for the Baylands development that they're using for a lot of what they're doing, and it really is a foundational document. So we're not going to be, the committee's not going to be doing it necessarily in a vacuum, but we do take the lead on it.
So so why are we updating it? What's the need to update it? What Anthony's saying in a sense is instead of writing the plan, can we choose some action and work on an action instead of the plan? That's what I heard. He'd like to see a prioritized action.
Well, I think if we can do both, right, that's ideal. I have nothing against the framework. In fact, I've read the previous plan, and it's at least in terms of emissions reductions, right? If I read it right, it was about 15%, and we've already achieved that. Right, it was about a year late, according to the plan, but hey, we did it. So I think we should be celebrating that, right? But if that part's done, the other dynamic, right, is the climate emergency declaration that we did have, which is sets what is it, 60% reductions by 2030, was it? and net zero by 2040, and we're not anywhere near that, right? So I do think a framework is in order. You know, answering those questions about, well, how in the heck do we get there, I think is useful and important work.
And it's been several years.
Okay.
Since
No,
it
I
was
was just
drafted.
asking, I didn't know that we wrote the plan. I thought that it was a city plan and that we provided
No.
input or something
No.
like that, so,
Members of the committee wrote the plan.
okay, it's a lot.
Yeah, and I think, you know, we've reached out to RICAPs at the county, hoping that they could provide us with some consultant time. So we're hoping that the consultants could do some of that analysis for us as well, because, you know, inventories are, you know, expensive and all of that. So, and they typically will do the inventories for cities, so that's helpful. So I'm thinking that they would help us, right? I mean, it's not going to be just OSAC.
Right.
Just a question about process. The previous plan, was it sort of the subcommittee would write it and then it was reviewed by the rest of the committee and?
I believe so. I think that's the way it happened. I mean, it's been a long time. Sorry, there's been a lot that's gone by since then. It wasn't, and I was not on that subcommittee. But Barbara would be able to inform us on that, and so would Glenn. So, you know, if you want to shoot Glenn an email and ask her those questions, I know she'd be happy to answer. Yeah,
Okay.
and give you some guidance.
Starting from scratch or just?
No,
going
no.
over it?
Not starting from scratch. We're going to build on the success we've already had. It was an award-winning climate action plan, by the way, just so y'all know. Yeah. Okay. Next. Are we good?
Yes, you're here.
All right. Next on the agenda is staff updates. Yay.
Just two things. First thing is, as it relates to the frog pond, because it did come up, or the frog habitat. You know, we had, I don't know if many of you know Bob Sage. He's our GIS tech. He went out there, or he basically compiled a bunch of documents and mapped out all of the easements in that area, so we know sort of who has easements where. So the city is now planning on meeting with the property owners to go over this huge map with the easements to see, you know, if they were permitted to do work in the area. Our preliminary look at these easements are telling us no. But that is a conversation that we are going to have with the property owners. So that's forthcoming, just so you know that work has been done. I want to say Bob spent hours and hours mapping that out. He had to go to the county and get archived documents. You know, where the easements were, it was not like a map that showed you where things were. It was like written, like English language written, like southeast corner of wherever, and he had to map all of that out. So that took him quite a bit of time. But now that we have all of that information, we've sent that over to our city attorney, and we are going to meet with the property owner. So that's the update on that.
I think, I know it seems like a lot of work for a few little frogs, but I think it's really, really important, especially as we go forward with the Baylands development and access to the tunnel and the frog habitat and the whole Crocker Trail project. So I really appreciate the work that the staff has put in, and Bob especially, on getting this done. It should have been done years ago, and it was always like kept getting pushed off. And
So is it Brisbane's property then, or what you're saying?
We have an easement in the area that they did the work, and they did, our preliminary understanding of this is that they should not have been doing the work in those areas.
Okay,
So,
alrighty,
yeah, we have to have a discussion with the property owner.
okay.
Yeah.
Thank you.
And the second update, I'd like to pass it off to Dolores about our February 13th restoration habitat.
Yes, so I've been working with Ariel, and we have a winter planting day, habitat restoration day set for Saturday, February 14th. They're going to be working with Valentine's Day, so lovely, cute little date day, actually. Planting the seeds of love. There will be new habitat restoration T-shirts. Jeff is working on getting the lunches for everybody. That's going to be at the Northeast Ridge. And Mountain Watch is doing it in partnership with a group called Pollinator Partnership. So we'll be there along with support from Scavenger as well. Whoever would like to join, that'd be amazing. I will be there. I'm not sure about other staff quite yet, but I'll be there as well.
And can we make sure that t-shirts are 100% cotton?
Yes, we can do that.
Thank you.
It's the same company that we've worked with for all the other Habitat days, so they know the style and all of that too.
Yeah.
So that's good. Yeah, Northeast Ridge. Ariel has not given me the exact details on the exact location yet. There's no website to sign up for it quite yet either, so I will keep everybody posted, and there will be something in the blast once Mountain Watch gets that done. That's just I'm waiting on their end so I can create some content for everybody to know how to sign up. But it'll be on their normal Mountain Watch upcoming events page.
And do you think it'll be in the same place, the gathering place will be the same place we've been for?
I believe so.
Yeah,
I
it's a
believe so,
good-
but don't quote me on that.
Okay, good. It's really beautiful up there, you guys. Just incredible. Even if you don't do much, it's excellent to go along.
Okay, I have a staff update about after we submitted our letter of interest for the PCA grant, you requested that we see if we can join some of the committee meetings for ABAG and MTC. So I reached out and I got a response back from Martha Silver, who is the clerk of the committee, and she recommended, excuse me, I sign up for updates for the MTC committee. So I've been looking at their agendas to make sure I can see if anything comes up about the PCA grant, and I will let you know as soon as I see anything. They've only had one meeting since I've signed up for updates, and they haven't been discussing it, but I will let you know if I see anything.
And then we'll go, right?
We can all go together. We can carpool,
Okay, cool.
can get drinks after.
Okay. Any more staff updates? Okay, then we go on to subcommittee reports and reorganization.
I do have one more update. Sorry. I just looked at her email. The meetings are at Friday mornings, Friday 9:40 a.m. in San Francisco.
Okay.
So it might make carpooling and happy hour a little bit difficult, but
Oh, you go to breakfast happy hour. No. Okay. Jason.
What happened?
Welcome back to the committee.
Okay, I'm gonna look here.
I would like to exit my seat on the open space plan update.
Really?
Jason is here.
Oh, yeah. Okay.
I'll do that. Where is it? Oh, yeah, okay.
Okay, you're back in the hot seat, Jason.
And there's vacant, are the yellows the vacant?
Uh-huh. But you could also, then the ones that have two could have three, or, whatever floats your boat. And Rohandra. Okay. Climate action, that's gonna be a busy one. That's gonna take a lot of work.
Good, excellent, you're the man for the job.
Yes, yeah, that's a good crew.
Have a nice easy one. How about the Crocker, could I please be on the Crocker Trail with the frogs with my friend?
Yep.
Yeah? Okay, I like that. I've been out there and can I stop there with two?
No, you gotta take 2 more.
what was the first one, Jason? It's a little hard to hear.
I would like to, I would like to take my esteemed colleague's spot, Aaron's spot on open space, and take the yellow highlighted Crocker Trail, those two, the frog. Is there anything else begging? You've got 2 on education. You're good.
I think we're okay for right now, and remember that we will be having, hopefully another member joining maybe by March. Right? Okay.
Yeah,
Oh, and we are adding the other 2 subcommittees, right?
Yeah, but they're kind of on a as needed,
Okay.
like not even as hoc, it's really as
sorry.
needed.
they're
Yeah,
ad
Yeah.
hoc.
we should put names to them, but
May I pop in with a quick comment confirming that the deadline to apply, if anyone's listening, is February 18th at 5 p.m. to join committee or commission.
February 18th for this committee.
Yeah, for
Okay.
our open slot.
Okay.
I'm sorry, I want to go back really quickly for a staff update and update you all that Anthony and Mary and I met for the next library display, which I will be putting up tomorrow. That's going to be on winter planting, fire safety, and defensible space. So you were talking about that earlier, so this is going to be that display, which will
Excellent.
be up tomorrow.
Bravo.
What time will you be at the library?
Molly and I were planning on taking a trip in the afternoon. Not sure exactly what time quite yet, but sometime in the afternoon after lunch.
Okay. Right now, all of this stuff in the inactive subcommittees, right, well, like liaisons to the council is not inactive, and Sierra Point Planning is not inactive, and Bayland Subcommittee is not inactive. But these Bayland specific plan things, we've worked through those, so those are kind of inactive. And Lippman Science Fair judging is not inactive, so.
I feel like we could probably take the Bayland specific plan chapters off of this list for sure.
Yeah, please,
It's not relevant anymore.
yeah.
Strike it from the record, please.
Is the Sierra Point Park planning part of the beautification? Is there a beautification committee?
There is a city council subcommittee that's related to beautification.
And who, are there any of the other committees? Should we be represented there?
I think it's just the council members. Yeah, I don't think it's one of those where, OSEC or Complete Streets or others have spots on that. But you're more than welcome to attend.
Yeah.
Yeah.
Okay. Alrighty. Thank you.
I'm sorry, what were the inactive subcommittees that you wanted to keep on the inactive list?
I don't think those are really inactive so much as they are just sort of occasional.
Okay.
I think what was suggested was to take off the Bayland specific stuff. That was all just,
Yeah,
all
Okay.
those.
Got it. Thank you.
Did-
Also, circling back on the Lippman Science Fair, I can't find a date online, and I know we were talking about that last meeting, Anthony. Do you have any information on that at all?
The judging is happening Monday night.
Okay.
Holly Rios reached out to me, and so did Bob. And so, I think there was a communication gap or something, but I let them know that Anthony is manning the fort this year,
Okay.
and I would be back up in case something happened.
Awesome.
there's
Okay,
no
sounds
conflict
good.
with any of your girls being in it, is there?
No, we don't have any middle schoolers anymore.
Okay.
My oldest is in high school now, so.
Ooh,
Yeah.
wow.
Yeah.
No wonder you're celebrating a birthday.
I know.
Well, let me know if you need any assistance at all.
Okay, thank you. And just a point of clarification, I'm assuming the answer is yes to this one, but the Climate Action Subcommittee, I'm assuming, is going to be the one that's rewriting the Climate Action Plan, right?
Yes.
Yeah, okay.
That would be you,
Yeah. Cool.
and you,
Let's do it.
and you. Okay. I love having the rock stars on that committee. All right, are we done with chair and committee matters? Oh, subcommittee reports and, yes. Are we done with that? Okay, let's move on to calendar items. February 14th, look at that, Planting and Habitat Day. That's going to be really exciting. And in April, we have April 18th.
Yes, that is a loose date that I came up with Ariel. I know Scavenger was talking about maybe doing it in the Earth Day event in May, but he wanted to keep it to April, if that's okay with you all. So April 18th is kind of just the kind of loose date that we had in mind for that one.
I think that's a good one.
Okay. And then also, since we just discussed Bike to Work Day, I highlighted this one because I wanted to ask your all involvement in it because I wasn't sure. And since we already kind of talked about that enough, I'll leave it on the calendar, but just so you all know, and the date will be chosen by probably a different department. Because May 22nd is a Wednesday and the official Back to Work Day is on a Friday. So I was just trying to accommodate your schedules. But since Since we don't need to talk about that anymore, I'll delete that.
Okay, excellent.
Going once, going twice.
I think we're good to go on to chair and committee matters. Oh, did we do subcommittee reports?
No, we didn't.
Sorry, back up. We didn't do subcommittee
Wasn't gonna
reports.
stop you, I thought.
The tree committee did have a subcommittee meeting, and we discussed, we met briefly with Keegan and got a sort of a state of the city address from him. He is now certified arborist, which is great. And we need to schedule another meeting soon so that we can get going on this. And then other subcommittees, the events subcommittees, well, we just saw the dates for the habitat restoration things. Education and outreach, you guys have talked about what you're doing with the library thing. Climate action plan we talked about. We have not had an open space plan update, but we should soon. Maybe by sometime in February, if we could schedule that, to go through what we need to do on that. So tree issues and that, and PCA grant, you'll let us know. Okay, any other subcommittee reports? Okay, back.
When do we get notified on the PCA grant again?
It's my understanding from our grant writers that they'll let us know in February whether we'll be invited to apply for the full application due in March. Yeah,
I sure hope so.
me too.
Okay. Now we go on to chair and committee matters. I don't think we have any chair and committee matters, do we? Anybody have chair and committee matters?
Oh, I am not going to be here for the next meeting. Lippman musical.
Oh,
Yeah.
oh, that's the February meeting? And the
Mhm.
February meeting is what date? Where's my calendar?
Well, next meeting is the next chart.
February 25th. Is there anything that I mean, do you want us to move the meeting date? Is that awful?
Yeah, should we bump it?
I don't need you to move it on my account. I don't know if we have anything on the agenda for the next meeting.
I think my first concern is broadcasting. It's really difficult to get this room for broadcasting for committees. So if we do decide to move the date, we may not be broadcast. We may be just across the street in the annex conference room. It's just that might be a thing. No.
Okay. So,
I'm fine. I'm fine just missing the meeting.
okay,
I'll watch it later.
okay. Well, we like your input too, Erin. But yeah, all right. Okay. And then, so our next meeting is February 25th. And does anyone else have anything else? Going once? Going twice?
Oh, thank you for sharing.
Thank you for sharing, yay.
Oh, you're welcome. I can't wait till Anthony gets to do it. Okay, here's my last gavel as chair.
There you go.
This time.
This time, this time. Give me a break.